Hey folks, welcome. Here we discuss real stories by real people. Today we have the story of a man whose ex finds grass isn't greener on the other side. Let's see how it goes. I divorced my ex-wife 3 years ago. We divorced because she cheated and I didn't want to live in such a marriage. She claimed that I was abusive and it was all my fault she cheated, etc. Same bullshit many of you heard. So we divorced. She went and married the AP, etc. But these last few weeks, she has been trying to be flirty friendly and stalk my social media, try to ask me where I work. Her obsession has become so focused that she started following a couple of women that I'm talking to. She even tried to have a launch with one of them. Mind you, she's still married to the other guy. Update. There is nothing I'm happier about this divorce is that I had a prenup done when we got married 12 years ago. Everything is pretty much already set. Custody, finances, etc. Edit. She did try to take me to court for an entire year. Only thing that happened is she in 40K more debt. Well, she's doing to AP what she did to you. Maybe AP is doing to her what he did to his previous partner. Cheaters deserve each other. Be glad you dodged that nuke, OP. Comments. She found out the hard way that the grass isn't always greener. You should block her on all social media and stop communicating. None of this is surprising. She's discovered the grass isn't greener with another man. If you don't have kids together, then go no contact. Story 2. I did something I promised myself I'd never do. I snooped. I never had a reason to before now. For the past 4 years, we've had a great, solid relationship. We had been friends for years before finally getting together, so it feels like we've been together a lot longer than just 4 years. We have a 2.5-year kid together and just bought a house together this summer. I've got a good job. She just got a promotion. Things were going great. That is, until a couple of weeks ago when she started acting strangely. I would come home from work and she would grab her laptop and go sit on our bed for hours. She would position herself so that the screen wasn't visible and that she'd have time to close any open windows if I came into the room. When I confronted her about being a hermit and not spending any time with her family, she got extremely defensive. She would stay up late after I went to bed and be on her laptop in the living room until the early hours of the morning. Even when she had work that day, sometimes she wouldn't even come to bed. She would just sleep on the couch. One morning, our daughter opened up my GF's laptop, and when I went to close it, I noticed that the Skype login screen was up. She had never had Skype before, or if she had never used it. She definitely had never registered a screen name on Skype before. This was slightly worrisome, but not a huge red flag. What was the most troubling about this is she used a fake last name on the account. My daughter wanted to watch some nursery rhyme videos on YouTube, so when I launched Google Chrome, it loaded the homepage, which is set to Gmail login screen. I noticed there was another secret Gmail account besides her main account. This immediately sent my stomach sinking. Another weird behavior was her libido. Ever since we had the kid, we would average having sex 2 per month. However, the past few weeks, she has been all over me. I don't know how many times we've done in the past week, but it was definitely at pre-baby frequencies. Anyways, after seeing the new Skype account and the secret email address, I was very much concerned. It was eating at me, and I wasn't able to focus or concentrate on anything else. Finally, last night, I snapped. I snooped. I managed to gain access to both her secret email and Skype accounts. Her email account had 2 email conversations between her and 2 other guys. There was talk of, when will you be on Skype? Miss you. And I had fun talking and playing with you last night. Her Skype chat history was worse. Based on the convo, it was obvious they were on cam together and that she was exposing her breasts to at least one of these guys. There was a lot of flirting and general inappropriate conversation for someone in a committed relationship. Things along the lines of, on my way home from work, all I could think about was seeing my Skype BF. Yeah, not excited to see her family, but her Skype BF. Also, talking about how she's going out with her friends that night if her BF lets her. All of my snooping happened last night while she was at a bar with her friends. She's younger than me, and I remember how important it was for me at her age to get out with my friends, so I try to be understanding. I've never had a reason to be jealous or distrusting of her, so I let her do it. She was at the bar until it closed at 2. She got home by 2:30 a.m. She came in and acted normal, told me about her night and her one gay guy friend acting crazy at the bar. It was after that I confronted her. I asked her what was going on with all the alone time with her laptop. She lied and said she was just chatting on Facebook with friends. I asked her what was going on with Guy-1 and Guy-2 on Skype. She still lied and pretended like she didn't know what I was talking about. I told her she had one chance to tell me everything, and to be honest, she didn't. I told her I knew everything about her exposing herself to strangers online and being flirty and inappropriate. She broke down crying. It took a bit of effort, but I finally got the gist of what was going on. She found some random chat website. She met some guy there who convinced her to get on Skype. When they were on Skype, they would video chat and she would show him her breasts while he masturbated on camera for her to see. She said she doesn't like watching porn and that this was a way for her to get excited. She said she doesn't know these people in real life, has no interest in ever meeting them, and that since they are strangers, it doesn't seem real. I understand now that she may have an exhibitionist fetish, but I feel that this is not entirely sexual and that there is a level of emotional attachment, seeing as they both said how much they enjoyed talking, miss each other, look forward to chatting, etc. I flew off the handle, said some hurtful things which I feel bad about, and told her to get out. She refused to leave for some reason. After screaming at her for probably 10 minutes, I resigned to the fact that she wasn't going to leave the house, even though I made it perfectly clear I didn't want to see her. I grabbed our daughter out of her bed and took her to our bedroom to sleep next to me and locked the door. My GF slept on our daughter's floor last night. This morning I let her in our room to get some things. She said she wanted to talk, but I was still seething and wasn't ready to talk about that point. Nothing else happened, and she finally left. I am absolutely devastated, angry, hurt, and lost. I don't know what to do next. Update. Before I even update this, I feel like I need to clarify something. It was not my intention, but apparently some people jumped to the conclusion that my GF is a bar skank. She goes out to the bars maybe once or twice every few months. Some people also interpreted this to mean she's a bad mother. That couldn't be further from the truth. She's a great mother, and never once have I questioned her love, caring, or devotion to our daughter. So, with that said, here's an update. Sorry if this is long-winded. It's actually kind of therapeutic for me to get this all out there. D-Day was Saturday night, Sunday morning. I told her to leave, but she refused. Sunday morning, I finally allowed her access to our bedroom to gather some personal items. While she did that, I took her house key off her keychain. As she tried to leave, she noticed it was gone and got upset and asked for it back. I told her I would pack up all her shit and leave it in the garage. She could use her garage door opener to get everything and to leave the opener when she was done. She asked to talk and I refused. I was still far too angry that any attempts to talk would have devolved into a shitstorm, which would have done more damage than good. I ignored her and got into the shower. She left. She sent me an email Sunday afternoon. It basically said that she knows there's no excuse for what she did, but she tried to explain herself anyways. In her email, she also outlined 2 big problems. The first is obviously the cheating. The other thing is, she claims that she has been unhappy for a long time and that she never wanted to have kids or get married. We aren't married, but basically act like it. I believe the biggest underlying problem is communication. I had no idea she was so unhappy. Sure, we'd gotten into a routine, but I enjoyed it. Go to work, come home, eat dinner, play with our daughter, put her to bed, watch some TV together and go to bed. Rinse and repeat. I was perfectly comfortable and happy doing that, and believed she was too since she never once gave an indication otherwise. She also said she feels like her 20s have been stolen from her. She wasn't able to go off to college and have the normal early 20s experience because we made a family together. I didn't respond right away, but a few hours later I texted her and told her I got her email and that if she wanted to come over and get some things that I wouldn't stop her. She came over Sunday evening and emptied her closet and took all of her toiletries. I tried my best not to speak to her because I was still seething and would have inevitably lashed out at her. She texted me yesterday and asked if she could pick up our daughter from daycare and bring her back after dinner. I agreed. While at work, I left a message with my lawyer who helped me with the real estate deal when I bought my house earlier this year. I also contacted a therapist and made an appointment to meet him on Thursday by myself. I spent a lot of time looking online at therapists until I found the right one. The one I chose has experience in couples counseling as well as porn addiction and other sexual issues. I chose him because if in fact this fetish of hers is a purely sexual thing, maybe she can get some help with it. She kept her word and brought our daughter home after dinner. I told her if she wanted to come back after I put our daughter to bed that I'd like to talk to her. She came over last night and we sat down together for the first time since this happened Saturday night. I told her I didn't want to make any decisions. I don't even want to try to start working through our problems. I simply wanted to open a line of communication and set the groundwork for future discussions. I told her I don't know if this is reconcilable, and at this point I don't even know if I want to try. But I said we owe it to our daughter and her future to at least try. I suggested going to couples therapy, not even as an attempt to start reconciling, but to just simply get all of our cards on the table with the help of someone who can navigate us through this. I said if at that point we decide to reconcile, it would be necessary to continue going to counseling since communication seems to be our biggest problem. It will be difficult trying to work out our problems on our own, and once everything is out in the open, if we decide to not to get back together, counseling can help us separate amicably without resentment or spite or using our daughter to hurt each other. That seemed to strike a chord with her, and I'm hopeful that she'll agree to it. I also told her if we decide to make this work, that there are several things I need from her. I told her that the trust between us is gone, and if she wants to start earning it back, there are some things I need her to do. First is to contact this guy and tell him she's done, and for him not to contact her ever again. I told her I had to see proof that she did this. That goes the same for any other guys she may have been involved with, and if any of them attempt to contact her, that she tell me immediately. I told her that her secret email account, her Skype account, and any phone numbers or contacts or apps had to be gone. I also told her that I need complete transparency from her. I need her to answer all of my questions completely and honestly. I also need access to all of her accounts, her email, Facebook, phone, etc. In return, I would give her access to all of my accounts. The last thing is that if we try to reconcile, we have to continue counseling. I asked her if any of these things were unreasonable. She said no. Perhaps the biggest breakthrough, however, is when she told me that this whole time she had told herself it was purely sexual. It wasn't until I confronted her and she hadn't talked to him in a couple days that she felt the need to contact him. It was at that point that she realized maybe this was about more than just the sexual gratification. When I had originally accessed her secret email and Skype accounts, I changed her passwords. I noticed not long after she left after our talk that the passwords had been changed. I'm not sure what to think of that. I'm hopeful that she's done this to tell him she's breaking contact. I don't know for sure. Edit. I haven't made any decisions about anything yet. She has to agree to couples counseling first. Then, based on how that turns out, I will make a decision. As for trying to put the blame on me, that's textbook behavior when a cheater gets caught. She's fucked in the head emotionally too, and is trying to rationalize and minimize this any way she can, even though we all know, including her deep down, that that's all bullshit. The blame for cheating is 100% on her, and I will not accept her trying to suggest anything different. Reconciliation or not, you're being very mature and very logical, considering it can be extremely difficult to be so with so much emotional trauma overwhelming you right now. But her changing the password really does not put her in a good light. She has basically barred you from her means of cheating. I doubt she ever stopped her affair. She sounds too far gone, in my opinion.